Hope everybody's doing okay. I thought I'd make a quick video on my Fuji Raw Workflow, because unlike the bare sensor in almost every other camera out there, Fuji has the X-Trans sensor, which can make for little wormy things sometimes. And a lot of the post-processing software doesn't, well, Adobe, for example, they're getting better, but they have really not figured out the Fuji Raw processing. It's just or they just don't care. It's just not up to what the X-Trans sensor is capable of, interpolating all that data. So finding a raw workflow that works is when you shoot Fuji is actually something to consider. But I think I found it, and it's not an Adobe workflow at all, which I'm really happy about. And honestly, it costs $50, and that's if you don't get Affinity on sale. And if you get Affinity on sale, my Fuji Professional Raw Workflow and my workflow in general costs $25 for the software. So let's get into it. So I finally found a data access management software that I really like. It's XNView MP, and it's free. It's a free program and it works great. It does everything I need it to do. Now, if you have some need for features that it doesn't have, it's not going to work for you. But for what I'm doing, it works just perfectly. And hey, what do you got to lose? It's free. And as Tom Peterson in Portland, Oregon said many, many years ago, free is a very good price. So basically, I shoot RAW and I shoot JPEG fine at the same time whenever I shoot a Fuji camera. And most of the time, I'd say 60, 70, 80% of the time, I use the JPEGs and I tweak them a little bit. But if I really need to do some editing on a photo, I'll bring the RAW file into Affinity and develop it in RAW, in Affinity RAW Developer. If it's a file that I'm really going to put on in my portfolio, if I really got something that's spectacular, Affinity does a good job, but I have Capture One Fuji Express. I really don't like the program. I haven't spent the time to learn it, but it works for RAW development without that much effort. And the RAW development in Capture One Fuji Express is the best I've seen. So it's a little bit better than Affinity's RAW development. I use Affinity on a day-to-day kind of a deal if I need something quick, because I like Affinity. I like using Affinity. I don't like using Capture One, but I will, if it's a file that I really need the nth degree of RAW development out of, I will develop it into a TIFF file in Capture One and then bring the TIFF file into Affinity for the final processing. So 60, 70, 80% of the time I'm using my JPEGs and I'm tweaking them in Affinity. I'm viewing them in XNView NP. And I'd say 20% of the time I'm bringing them into Affinity and doing the raw development in Affinity if I need to process a raw file. And if it's like, that 1% of my best photographs, I'll develop the raw file in Capture One and turn it into a TIFF and then bring it into Affinity. And that's pretty much my workflow. And XNView NP is free, Capture One Fuji Express is free, and Affinity you can get on sale for $25. And those three programs do everything I need to do on my computer with my raw files, and it's great. I also use XNView and Affinity, mostly Affinity, with my scanned film images. So I use that workflow. So these three programs do everything I need them to do digitally. And they work great. And for $25 on sale, $50 full price for all three programs, what do you got to lose? So I hope that helps you out. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. That's the best thing you can do to help me out. And I think you hit the bell for notifications of when I put out a new video. And I appreciate all the support. Thanks a lot. I hope we're helping you guys out there, and I appreciate it. We'll catch you later. Bye.